Hi, Rayo Cyrus here and welcome to another video in my series on careers and futurism. In this video I'm going to talk about what I think are the shortcomings in the modern society's approach to helping people and guiding them to get the career that is right for them. And viewers of my previous videos might have noticed I've gone for a bit of an outfit change. Out is the tight black t-shirt for those nights out in Berlin, and in for today is the Miami tropical house music city skyline. Now I'm going to quickly run through what I see as the major problems with the existing careers system, especially in the UK, but then we're going to focus most of our time on potential solutions because that's always more uplifting to think about. The biggest issue I've always found is that we simply lack flexibility, and the older you get and the further through the education system you get, the less flexible are your options. Let me explain a bit further what I mean. I used to be a tutor, a one-on-one tutor teaching a range of subjects, all the sciences, maths, from SATs, Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4, GCSE and A-levels. And what I realised through teaching all the stages is that we have flexibility, huge amount in the GCSE stage, but then when we get to the A-levels we have this key point where students either choose to have science subjects, biology, chemistry, physics, in their A-levels, or they choose not to, and this has huge implications. The implication is that once someone's committed themselves to A-levels, they're either all arts or say all sciences at the two extreme ends of choices. Then later on, if they wake up with the realization, actually I wish to be in the other field, it's simply nowhere near as flexible as it would be to change when they are still at the A-level stage. And now you may have noticed I've switched the colours of the arrows around from the previous video because this is how they should actually be. I believe that it's probably far easier to move from having the science background into the art sphere than it is the other way round. And by easier I don't mean that you're qualified to do it or that you have the skills to do it. I just mean that if a job has a hard science requirement, without the underlying A-levels or degree, you're simply not going to be eligible to do it. I've researched extensively the best current ways to make this transition later if you want to, from one to the other. And from what I can tell, the only real option that exists is kind of going back to a sixth form college, redoing A-levels, and in the sciences, say, to get back on that path. And I guess the issue with that would be that if you're significantly older, mid to late 20s, 30s, 40s, do you really want to be going back to a sixth form college where you're certainly going to stick out due to the massive age difference? Okay, well the alternative then is maybe to do the online version of these A-levels. But then how do you do the practical component, which is a key part of the qualification? How do you do the experiments involved? Now for some potential solutions, and I'd be interested to know how realistic or idealistic you think these are if yourself are involved in the education system or an educator. Firstly, increase the number of educational places offering sort of A-level courses to people at any age at a reasonable price. Secondly, drop tuition fees to the point where if someone did a part-time job, they could reasonably afford to pay for a tuition fee for the year, as well as pay for accommodation and food, and just to get on with life as normal. Because if you drop the fees, it completely changes the psychological feeling and freedom to pursue something new. It no longer becomes a case of, oh, there's so much pressure on this because I'm investing so much money on this, I have to make sure this is the thing I want to do, which means that some people might even avoid embarking on it to, oh, well, if it's only costing me this much, then yeah, I could take a gamble on it and see if by doing it, I actually do like it, because I believe you can read and research all you want, but until you actually study and do something for a few months, you can't work out how you feel about it. And thirdly, which is an idea I've touched on before in my videos about new exciting degrees and my video on Udacity nano degrees, which I'll link to at the end, is why not have employers and companies all have their own educational facility? Then we are tying employment very, very closely to education. For example, one career I looked up at a point for research was that of a patent attorney. So to do this, you need a degree in a scientific area, and you essentially then get trained in legal aspects of working out how to patent scientific inventions for clients. As things currently stand, if you want to get into that job, you'd have to go back, do a 3 or 4 year science degree in the relevant discipline, and then apply for a role as a patent attorney. But instead, why not have a scheme like a lot of law companies do? Why doesn't the patent attorney company provide a 1 or 2 year scientific training scheme that teaches the exact scientific field that is relevant to their area of practice? Hey, if you happen to be a patent attorney and you're watching this, let me know what you think. Does that sound realistic to you? The other point that I want to cover is I think we need to take careers advice a lot more seriously, just as seriously as all the academic subjects themselves. Now, I think this is an issue because whilst you might get the intellectual abilities of a child and identify those correctly when they're at school, you're going to miss out on other really important things about them: their aptitudes, their interests, what they're motivated by. So let's get straight into some potential solutions. Firstly, I think it'd be interesting to explain to young people why different careers even exist in our human society. Is it because they provide entertainment for a group of people, so they're willing to pay you because you're entertaining them, making them feel good? Is it because there is a social need for this service, and without it, our society would be less healthy or educated? Or is there a big commercial corporate driver for the career? i.e., does your contribution mean that other people also make a lot of money? Secondly, we could create a more forgiving try before you buy society when it comes to careers. So have far more trial days, shadowing days, short-term internships, workshops for people of all ages where you can expose yourself to that particular career. Well, we could create a real-life version of this pretty fun game, Job Simulator, if anyone's ever played it. You can just try out everything there is to possibly try out. Ultimately, I think having a culture where we prioritize the flexibility of career changing throughout life is important because it will lead to a far, far happier society. It is well known that career dissatisfaction is one of the biggest forms of unhappiness for so many people in our modern world. And by giving them the hope and knowledge that they could completely change what they're doing for a reasonable price within a reasonable number of years, we would gain so much. If I was a politician, I'd even have the slogan, change from any career to any other career in under 2 years for a maximum of £5,000. Now, obviously that's really idealistic and it wouldn't apply to some careers that take many, many years of training, but I certainly think there is room for improvement. Who knows, maybe the modern accelerating shift to online learning, remote working, technology jobs could lead to more flexible education for everyone. Now, I think we have a long way to go and a lot of progress will be made in this area in the next 5 to 10 years, but there are currently some good things that currently exist for careers. There are organisations like Career Shifters that will help you with ideas of how to change and reposition yourself for something new. And there are obviously careers coaches. So there are some good things worth checking out at the moment. I think this idea of career flexibility is a huge area to think about. And I've covered some things at quite a general level, and I plan to go further into some of those in future videos. At this stage, I want to invite anyone who has a thought on any of these topics to comment below. Anyone who's seen any previous videos I've done regarding new exciting degrees, Udacity nano degrees, and new options for career flexibility. Also, please do share any inspiring stories down below. Maybe you started off doing something here, and then many years later you finally developed the courage or the resources, or you just found a mentor or a way to change to something completely different. It'd be really, really great to hear about those experiences, and I'm sure younger people, teenagers, people at school thinking of which subjects to pick, what they want to do with their lives would really benefit from the wisdom, experience and feedback for people who've already gone through that process. I've been Rayo Cyrus. I hope you found this video enjoyable, thought-provoking, engaging, and it's given you some renewed optimism and ideas for careers and yourself. If you have any thoughts for future videos and topics you're interested in, then please do leave a comment below. And one final thing, of course, if this is kind of content you enjoy watching, anything to do with careers, futurism, tech, new gadgets, all these kind of ideas, then please do like, comment, and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date with my new videos. Bye for now.